5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What is going on, everybody? Hopefully you are all having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday evening. Thank you for joining us here on another edition of the Skol Experience. Wednesday after a win. Obviously, we're all pretty excited about this team. We haven't had a chance to talk to Dave on here since this fun start to the season. So we're going to do a lot of that today. Talk about what's happened so far and see if we all think if we're a legitimate Super Bowl, could be a legitimate Super Bowl team by the time it's all said and done. But fellas, before we get into all that fun stuff, how are we doing on this wonderful evening?
One thing, first off, I'm going to do some shout outs here because we got Gary in the building, an hour early. Hour early. Sub Skol mates, let's go. Justin, 2.5 hours early. That's what we're talking about. Too Evil in the building. Hi, Justin. Hi, Gary. Gary. Big Raylan in the building. What's going on,
man?
Big Raylan? My guy. Roger's in here. Who else we got in here? We missing anybody? Bob Sweet coming in. Skol Mafia.
Skol Mafia.
Our boy right there hanging. I mean, we were together almost all weekend long. Let's go. Had a fun time going into some interesting bars and stuff like that I know Skol Mafia was loving, especially on Friday. Anyways, getting into this show, I guess, I mean, we had a show just yesterday, but Dave, where are you at with the Vikings, man? Do you think they're pretenders or do you think this team is a contender?
You know, as I was saying offline, and I'm super depressed because I thought we just needed to tank this year because I think it's the only way to build a championship. And I just think we just need to not put too much hope into this and just start tanking on purpose so we can build that championship that we've been trying to do for, 60 years. No, man, I'm fucking excited. This is great. I love it. It's amazing. The defense is just the freaking greatest. I just watching video breakdowns of just the actual mind games that Brian Flores is playing. Brock Purdy was seeing ghosts, not Sam Darnold. It was just freaking amazing. Our offensive line I haven't seen an offensive line like this since 2012 maybe. I don't know. We're just making holes. We're protecting our quarterback. Just shit we haven't seen for a while. Yeah, we haven't had a good defense since, a sustainable good defense like this is capable of being since 2019. Our offensive line definitely been a decade or longer since we saw an offensive line playing like this. And the crazy thing is, it's like the same guys. The last 3 or 4, it's like similar, it's not like we went out and got free agents and made this line. It's coaching, man. It shows you just how much coaching is involved with making a team.
For sure.
Not drafting high on the draft board.
Right.
It's a team, making a team.
Right.
Sure.
1 second though. Big Railing with the $1.99. Appreciate. Where's the membership button? We have not created a membership yet.
We don't have enough time for to make enough content to put stuff behind.
No, we will. We'll have a plan around a membership at some point into the future.
But for now, there's not enough to make a membership worth it to you guys.
We got it. When we make a membership, we're gonna put time and thought into making it the way we need to make it. Hey, Alyssa in the building. Alyssa, we missed you on this past weekend. I saw that you were out there at the game and stuff, but didn't get a chance to meet you. Hopefully, we'll get to meet you next year.
Track down Alyssa,
man. I can't even. I already was like losing my memory by game start that day. We had I don't know. We were drinking a lot of beers
enjoying the day
on Sunday.
Dude, you guys looked like you're having so much fun. I was so pissed off that not pissed off, but I was just sad that I couldn't go. Besides being broke, I had no vacation time, so there's no way I could go.
It
looked awesome. You guys,
that's the only way to do it.
Everybody in the chat was putting pictures on Twitter. You guys were taking over my whole news feed the whole time, and I'm like, God damn it!
That's what we're talking about. It's gonna get even crazier next year. Obviously, you'll know because you'll be there next year.
I will be there this time.
You'll be there next year. Melissa, I miss you guys.
Put aside a fund.
Hey, Alyssa, we'll figure it out. We'll get to see you
Skull
next
Fest
year,
next year.
100%.
Skull
Skull
Fest
Fest next year for sure, Alyssa. I know I saw you say something about you didn't have the whole weekend or whatever, but it's all good. It's all good. Dave will be there next year. You'll be there next year. We got this. We got Wasted. Let's go. Hey, we need to get rap song on here playing in the background. That's what we got to do. Yeah,
He has a song named
We've-
Shwasted.
Yeah, he does.
Of course he does.
He does.
Of
It's
course
good
he
too.
does.
It's good too. GG, y'all dipped out. What the fuck? We got kind of like, I don't know, man. Browning out. That's the term for it. We were getting pretty drunk and we started just going around aimlessly a little bit after the game, to be honest. But I know that's why. I hit you up too, Evil. I hit up everybody. I apologize for us not making up to back to the corner bar after the game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it to Skol, or I'm gonna make it for sure to Skol Fest next season. I got to be down there for Hogan. Yes, let's go. Facts. Well, I'm the only guy not in blue.
It's a Jamie decision. He's the guy that gives everybody the wrenches.
Oh yeah. What the heck? I've not done that. That's crazy.
Just
That's
give
actually
everybody
crazy.
wrenches. All right.
I
still don't even know what that does.
Basically, it
neither,
makes
but-
it so that they can strike people if someone comes in here and they start talking.
No, my guy
stuff
definitely.
you
I
don't
forget
like
about
to
that. I
Across the
forget about
face?
that.
Yep, they're the ones that can get the people.
Is
out
the
of
wrench
here.
like you like hit them across the head with it?
Yeah, if they talking too much smack,
Like Vin
any of
Diesel?
the Packer fans trying to sneak in here that aren't the cool ones like Steve or what's Angler, Big Rail and Hats. They told me that they're gonna ship them out this week, so hopefully I get an email update on that. Anyways, back to Evil Wrench Gang. Let's go. All right, back to this. So sorry for all that. Yeah, Casey, where you at on the Vikings and everything right now, sitting 2-0, going into this Houston game? We can tap on that a little bit in a bit, but
at this point, I think they're legit until they show us they're not. Defense is playing really, really well. Darnold and that offense is playing well. A couple bad turnovers this last game for sure that you don't want to see. But overall, I think both sides of the ball are playing well. Will the Thrill doesn't miss kicks. Punting situations, meh, I guess. But that's the kind of way I'm looking at it. Like they destroyed a bad team. They beat a very good team, and they should have beat them much more handily. Like this game should have been 30-7 or 30-10 with a couple of those turnovers. I felt like, and I said last night, I never felt like we were out of control this last game. So you've smoked a bad team, you've had a good game against a good team. So until you come out here and show me that you're not the team we've seen the first 2 weeks, how can you not say this team's legit? They're doing everything we wanted to see. Defense playing really, really well, and Sam Darnold being efficient, making good throws, and your playmakers are popping off. So I think they're legit. And like I said, until they show me that they're not, until they have like this weekend, if they come out and play terribly, we'll have to maybe change the conversation a little bit. But for now, I don't see a scenario in which we play terribly against this Houston team. So I think we're good. I'm happy with what I've seen the first 2 weeks. It's everything I wanted to see.
The thing that impresses me the most is it's just different guys stepping up from 1 week to the next. Like the first week, is Aaron Jones. The next week, it was Ty Chandler. Naylor just as good all the time. You know me. Thank you. You're welcome, guys, for me telling Kevin that, that him and Brandel are the real deal, and Ty Chandler's the real deal.
Facts.
So that's 3 guys. I was like, hey, these guys are legit. And they're stepping up, and it's amazing. Then you got a guy like Cashman that looked like he was all pro. He was all over that field. He should have had 3 picks. It's just amazing. It's like Purdy was throwing him the ball, and it has a lot to do with our defensive scheme and everything. But it always seems like someone else is stepping up, and I didn't see Patrick Jones coming. I didn't see that.
No, he's
what the hell is that? That's crazy. If we take away his 4 sacks, we're second in the league in sacks. Crazy. We're leading the league in pressures. We're leading the league in sacks. And
the pressure thing has been big on Grenard. Like he didn't have any sacks the first game, but I think he had 5. I think he had 5 pressures in that first game. So he's been getting after it a lot. The stats aren't showing.
And that was our problem last year, right? We weren't getting. We weren't getting to the quarterback. We weren't pressuring him, and now we are.
Oh, sorry, Sarah. That was crazy.
Amy, you read that legit, didn't you? You didn't get the sarcasm there?
No. Sarah, that was crazy. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
I thought yeah.
She's probably
Initially,
sarcastic because Sarah's been pretty positive of lately.
That's
so
sarcasm, Sarah? Is that sarcasm?
We ain't good. We just got lucky.
That's a good job of it.
Yeah. What do you think, Casey? You 100% sure that was sarcasm?
I am. Yeah.
Well,
I
think it is. I see it is.
She's been positive.
Sarah's very sarcastic. I can see it.
Now, I can see it. Their backup's good, man. Their backup's good. It's not like they had a drop off, but people forget we don't have our tight end or our number 2 receiver.
And
I
JJ
think that more
out
than
there
makes
for
up in a little drop off at running back, you know?
Mm-hmm. Not to mention that we kind of shut down CMC for the most part, other than like one catch and run last year. So
right.
Yeah.
But,
no, we whooped some ass in that game.
He was questionable for the game last year, so that's why we didn't have a legitimate win last year, because Justin Jefferson being out doesn't count.
Right. No, we beat him. We match up too well against him, I guess. But yeah, this Houston game, I think, I mean, going into the season, I would have still said San Francisco was going to be the hardest team to beat for us. But Houston was also going into the season, like I had a feeling that they were going to even beat expectations that were already high for them. I even said at one point that I think that they're going to end up being like a long-term contender this season, as far as like, let's say like the Bills or something, or even the 49ers, like that level, like a top 3 team, top 3 to 5 team in the NFL year in and year out for the next handful of years. And then you're seeing that in the first 2 weeks out of them. So now it's like, I feel like with the 49ers in Houston, I think we got the 2 most difficult matchups back to back in the first 3 games of the season. And if we go in there and beat Houston, then my guy, Big Railing right here, everybody thinking I'm just messing around and joking with the 17-0. Hey, we're on our way. I bet you I'm already closer. I'm closer to my record, or at least still have a chance at it compared to most people going into the season. So,
and I think the big thing with the Houston game is like, yeah, they're 2-0, but they barely beat a young up.
Hey, what up, Johnny?
It's a young up and coming Indianapolis Colts team with a young quarterback, obviously, but they beat them by 3 points, and then they beat a pretty bad Bears team by 6 points and only put up 19 themselves this last 2 weeks. So they haven't played great teams, and that they've had to sneak out wins. So I mean, it's, again, they're a good team. They're going to be good by season's end, but I think I think we're going to test them this week. Plus, if you want to look into, the Niners hadn't beat us at US Bank Stadium since '92. The Vikings they're 5-0 against the Texans lifetime. They've never lost a game to Houston. So we got streaks to keep alive here.
So the Bears screwed up when they didn't fire their coach.
Yeah, I think so too.
They didn't fire their coach because he didn't want to show that he made a mistake and got rid of Fields instead.
Right.
Okay. He didn't want to he'd rather get rid of the guy that he didn't draft and then get rid of the guy that he hired. And it's just a dumbass move, because you're going to bring in a rookie quarterback that I'm told we should have tanked for, because he was the second coming of God, according to Jamie. Wasn't that you who said that? I think it was you. Did I quote you right?
Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was the second coming of God, but I did say he's the top quarterback in the draft. Though I would say that, because this was when I watched his highlights, and this is why you can't just watch highlights. Is when I did that, it was like, obviously this dude's ridiculous, and like his Mahomes-ness is insane. But when I watched his tape, which I wouldn't say for sure, I still think there's a chance he could be good. But once I went back, I saw that he struggled. He just could not stay in the pocket. He was always trying to get out of the pocket. And that was the thing, is obviously anybody knows, like, going into the NFL, you need to learn how to play out of the pocket. So I guess to me, I kind of changed my opinion a little bit, not really as how good he'd be, but as far as like, if he doesn't learn if they can't, like, it could be a project to some extent if he doesn't learn how to just play out of the pocket.
Yeah,
so their line is awful.
And I was just giving you some shit.
Yeah, I know. I was definitely.
I was overplaying it, but yeah, I'm told that, hey, the Bears had the best situation in the league, right?
Bandito.
No, they didn't, because he was going to a defensive coach. and a defensive head coach, and it hasn't looked good. And his attitude stinks. I mean, Texans quarterback come up to him, try to talk to him, and he don't want anything to do with it. I don't see him winning a locker room. I don't see him but hey, he's got all the talent. Got the arm talent. He's got everything. We say that about Darnold. We've all said that Darnold has all the talent in the world. He needs a coach to squeeze it out of him and good players around him. And he's got that now. And God, what a change that, just the stuff, even with JJ McCarthy coming in OTAs to what he looked like in preseason. That's KOC just bringing him along, man. And and you could see how freaking proud he was of Sam Darnold. And because they have history, they knew each other for a long time, and it's a tight knit group with quarterbacks. And it's been the coaching, man. It's been the coaching,
dude. The coaching is insane. One thing before moving on, I forgot about this. We are giving away another Ivan Pace Jr. rookie card. So get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe to us, GG Sports Podcast, and Dave with Minnesota Sports Podcast or Minnesota Sports Talk if you have not already.
And O'Connell was almost Dobbs proof. I mean, he was almost Dobbs proof.
Yeah,
and
he was for a couple weeks. He was a couple. Dude, Kevin O'Connell has been so impressive, and up to this point, it's just. Because this is, I guess we can bring this up because this is, I think this could be a good segue to that. But one thing is, I was just really impressive of Kevin O'Connell, what he did with JJ McCarthy and how he handled him in that preseason game after, especially after getting, hey, what up, Two-Tone? Especially after getting the strip sack or whatever, brings him out there, converts on 4th down, ends up getting a touchdown, I believe. But it just shows. And then obviously, everybody knows what Sam Darnold did in the past, and not a lot of times as a quarterback, even of his caliber, especially like Zach Wilson's and all these other guys, goes to a team and was like, okay, he might be the guy he's supposed to be. And that just says so much about Kevin O'Connell, which just brings me to to Sam Darnold's play. And I guess this is mostly for you, Dave, in case you can hit on it too, because we've talked about it yesterday. But if Sam Darnold keeps playing like this, how far do you think, if at all, he has to take the Vikings, where you think that they might sign him to a long-term extension? Or because I'm assuming he will have to have a long-term extension. He's not gonna, if he has a really good season, he's not gonna take a 2-year or whatever. So I'm assuming he's gonna go try to get paid. Like, how good would that have to be? And I guess also considering the idea of, if you do sign him, now you don't have all that extra money that you do with JJ McCarthy on a rookie contract that could sign more free agency. So, like, where are you at with, like, Sam Darnold? Like, how good can Sam Darnold be, do you think, at this point? And how good do you think he is, where it's like, hey, we might have to keep him around when he's really good, but at the same time, like, is it Kevin O'Connell to some extent just being such a good head coach too? So I'll let you take away all that.
So right now, I'm like, you talked about it. He threw that pick to, like, who was he throwing it to, right? And we could have went up 27-7. That was before that, but yeah, was it Aaron Jones? We would have went up 27-7. He fumbled.
Yeah, he fumbled at the.
We could have went up. We could have went up right even farther, and then they went back and scored on us, right? And that's what happened with, Sam Darnold. He could, like, put the game away almost right there, but no, we give him the ball. They go back and score. But the first field goal, he almost threw a pick there. He didn't. He could have thrown it higher, and given our guy the only chance to get it. But no, he threw it within reach of the defender. He could have thrown it higher and had our guy jump up, try to get it. But he didn't do that. He threw it low. And those are just subtle things, but those are things that can make or break a game for a guy and have us think totally different about him. Like, he doesn't if he throws that pick and that pick, we lose 3 points there. We lose momentum. All those things could happen. But So it's almost like a hair. You don't know. But that first game, he played pretty solid the entire game, right? And this game, he had big moments, and those can make or break a game too. So obviously, any bad is being so outweighed by him playing within the system And credit to O'Connell for dialing up a play action. I was sitting there, I'm live, and I'm thinking in my head, God, what a fucking time to throw a play action. And then because we just ran the ball, we got 3 yards, do it. And he play action. I didn't expect a 97-yard touchdown.
That's so crazy.
But what a time to throw it. So the confidence that he's put in Sam is amazing. Now, this isn't the same kind of confidence he could put into a Nick Mullins, because although before the season, ultimately Nick Mullins had a better career than Sam Darnold, but he didn't have the arm strength that Mullins doesn't make that throw on the run, on the fly. He doesn't have that strong an arm, and Sam Darnold does. So what would he have to do? Long story longer. I just think anytime if he goes to the playoffs, I think, we're looking to give him a chance. I think it depends on how aggressive we are. Okay. We may not be as aggressive if he wins a playoff game or wins 2 playoffs games. We won't, but I think it just upscales the aggressiveness as we go after. I just think he has to go to the playoffs for us to consider bringing him back again. Now, keep in mind, I think we can tag him,
which would be $33 million.
For how much?
For 1 year, if you tag. His franchise tag's a 1 year, so it'd be I think like $33.8 million or something like that for a franchise.
Which would put him at like 18th, 19th highest paid starting quarterback.
Which, obviously, you can't imagine that happening, because you got to do Sam Darnold right at that point. And
keep in mind the type of player he is. He's been completely fine taking a back seat to players. He's been that type of team player where he didn't bring up a stink. He didn't act like other quarterbacks might. Now, and keep in mind, Kwesi only doing 1-year extensions with Kirk. And then this last time, a year and extra $10 million. He has a history of, only offering 1-year contracts. So,
right.
And the fact that he's a team player and they have a relationship, hey, we'll do the 1 year. We'll talk about it through the year. Maybe we'll do an extension, but to tag him, to keep him on the team and still have the talks going. I think that's something they could do. But that's, it's still way, way early to.
Yeah, obviously. Yes.
Well, that's why I said yesterday, like, if we're having this, I hope that we're talking about this in week 17 or week 18, because that means that we're looking pretty damn good. If we're discussing whether or not Sam Darnold should be extended, that's the best thing that could happen by week 18. Now, do I think it's going to happen? No, I think he would have to win a playoff, like get to the playoffs, win a game or two.
And he's got to be playing out of his mind too. You're talking like MVP, because the reality is, we're just not a bad team. Even if Sam Darnold just has to not be bad, because you have to feel so good about what Brian Flores just does with his defense. Like I mean, both these first 2 games, you can say the defense, you could probably give the defense a little bit more credit than the offense, especially with like Dan Ginkle. And so that's the thing, is like, no matter what, like I think we can make the playoffs as long as Sam Darnold just doesn't make tons of mistakes. Like, I think it's no question we can make playoffs, because nobody knew our defense was going to be this good. It's on its way to be, if not already, a top 5 defense in the NFL. And I can see it staying there all year long. We have the pieces for it to do that. And not to mention, you got guys like these young guys like Dallas Turner and Taki, who's played a solid game last week, who obviously can progress throughout the season too. So it's not like that same drop off that we saw a year ago doesn't feel as likely. Like, it seems like this defense should only get better and better as we keep going.
Now, right after the game, I did a day later, I did a poll about Sam Darnold, give him some more time, blah, blah, blah. But the 4th choice was J.J. McCarthy no matter what. 46% said J.J. McCarthy no matter what. Like, they're just go with him no matter what happens. Yeah. We're going to have a divide. We're going to have a serious divide.
I'm team J.J. McCarthy no matter what. Even if it would have to be like in an MVP season and we should have won the Super Bowl or something, just because I am more team. You took a guy like Sam Darnold and you made him what he's supposed to be. But I mean, it's hard for me not to believe that's more on Kevin O'Connell, at least to some extent. And then obviously JJ, I mean, there's all the story stuff coming out that JJ McCarthy was closer to starting week 1 than people thought. And on top of that, it's the main thing for me is the deviating from the plan of having a rookie on his rookie contract. Like if you think JJ McCarthy's that guy and you extend Sam Darnold, that completely takes that whole idea out of the play. And then now Sam Darnold's probably going to be asking for like $40 million if he plays lights out to that, where we get to that point. Like you're probably seeing around $40 million a year. And that's how much money we have going into offseason instead of all of that money going into free agency. I still think that you want to have your quarterback on a rookie contract. And if you're Kevin O'Connell and you really feel like JJ McCarthy's that guy, if you extend Sam Darnold and maybe 1 year, but I just don't see it. I think Sam Darnold, like he's a team player, but if you play really good this year, go get your money. Don't play. And I don't think we're the team to be like, nah, we're going to franchise tag you and make you stay here, even though we're expecting to have some sort of quarterback competition or something like that. Because JJ McCarthy looked good and everything, Kevin O'Connell saying we got our franchise quarterback and stuff. And I feel like
I have made no decision, right? I have made no decision, but I can't wait till people start calling me a Sam Stan.
I know it's going to happen.
Telling me to.
Obviously, it's way too early.
I'm only a fan of a player.
Yeah, and
can't wait till that day happens.
Even the way Sam Darnold played in the first 2 games, which was definitely really good, I would say you'd probably even want to see a little bit above that during other points of the season to be like he's like as far as the MVP level. Like people are starting to say MVP Sam or whatever. Like I'm not ready to be like I think he deserves to be MVP this year.
Comeback player of the year is
comeback player of the year for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. So we'll see. But it's hard. JJ McCarthy, man. I can't. I just think I think you could put almost any quarterback in this offense with Kevin O'Connell and maybe not as Sam Darnold has all the physical tools. He has all those things, but I think Kevin O'Connell's just that guy that gets the most out of his quarterback and really, makes them better. Even last year.
I'm going to have to go to the tape. Hand size. Sam Darnold's got bigger hands.
That's it.
He's our guy. Extend him.
I mean, that's the thing with Sam Darnold. He has pretty much everything you want physically from a quarterback. So we trade JJ McCarthy for Bryce Young. Let's do it. That's crazy. The Bryce Young stuff just already getting benched.
That was another guy, Jamie, that you wanted.
far and away better than CJ Stroud.
I didn't say far and away.
No. You said it's not even close. You said far and away a better quarterback than CJ Stroud.
I said that. All right. That's my one thing. That was my one thing.
Who's it going to be next year?
I also had this year. I had Drake May lower than a lot of people. I had.
If you pick out Shadori Sanders or whatever the hell his name is,
I don't know who I'm feeling this year. I wouldn't say. I don't know. I'd have to look more. I wouldn't say
Ewers is still going to be that guy.
I don't see. I mean, Casey, his guys are Will Levis, Drake May, Quinn Ewers. Like.
Well, so far, Will Levis was kind of a guy that came up middle of the season, ended up not being anything. Drake May still has an amazing chance, and Quinn Ewers does as well. Quinn Ewers is a baller, man.
I mean, Bryce Young is not looking good. Obviously, Caleb Williams. That's bad, Jamie. That's bad.
Caleb Williams just needs.
Hey, you're gonna ruin our show, Casey.
You can't even get him an offensive line.
I got rid of all those videos when I said that. Malik Willis guy. We had
I think everybody was wrong about that draft.
Well, that draft.
I had Ritter.
There's not one good player other than Brock Purdy. No, I said Brock Purdy was the best. I said he was the number 1 quarterback in that draft.
Oh yeah, you did, and that's why
it was obvious. I'm like, you guys don't see this kid? He's the most polished out of them all. But no, it was bad with
none of the quarterbacks are doing any good. Jaden Daniels, I guess, would be the closest.
Yeah, Bo Nix is not great. I would say that one just with Bryce Young, just switch back to that real quick. I'm not out on Bryce Young yet. We'll see what happens. I haven't been watching him really. Obviously, he plays for an extremely shitty team. And that obviously what we're seeing with Sam Darnold now when he's not on an extremely shitty team, it does make a huge difference in a player's development and stuff like that, where Houston was a lot better than people expected, and Tank Dell, and even that offensive line, and Nico Collins, and obviously now it's just getting better and better. That was a much better team than people expected. The thing, my problem is I want and still do, and JJ McCarthy's that guy, a guy who's more mobile and uses his legs more, just because it was what Kirk Cousins wasn't, and CJ Stroud's not really like that, but he's kind of more of that pocket guy, and he's an absolute stud. So I still thought CJ Stroud was good, but I did like Bryce Young more than that guy. Which he did get picked number 1 overall, you know. Wasn't my greatest moment, all right? It wasn't my greatest moment. That's all I gotta say.
I was just out at his height.
It doesn't even matter anymore. JJ McCarthy's that guy, so any other quarterback takes I have for the next 15 years doesn't even matter because we're not getting any of them anyways.
If you're below 6'2", I'm starting to have questions of whether I want you or not. That's me.
If you're what? Under 6'2"?
If you're below 6'2", that was the good thing about this draft is everybody was 6'2" or higher. At least the top guys.
Sorry. Isn't it already? Kirk Cousins did have that neck, or obviously a nice 2-minute drill or whatever for the win where he just was dialed in. But still, you still had his first game, which wasn't great.
The start of the second half, he came out and scored, went down there and scored too. So
yeah. But we'll see what happens with Kirk. I always thought Kirk Cousins was good. I just didn't think he was good enough. And so far, you could say the first 2 games is a good example of both those. But
I would have loved to see this defense the last 3 years though.
Right.
All right. Let's move on here because I don't want to
there we go.
Talk about Kirk Cousins for the next hour. I haven't got.
Hey, Sam Darnold, but you got to be. But Sam Darnold in this offense, though,
you brought it up.
You.
No, I would love to see the defense for the last 3 years, man. Because the last time we had a good one was 19.
Right. And this defense is nice. And Sam Darnold, he's doing that's not like the 97-yard throw, and then obviously Sam Darnold going down there and there's 5 minutes left or whatever, the last drive where he hits that third and. Did you see his quote today, by the way? But what was it, 3rd and 8 or whatever, and then he throws it to Jalen Naylor in the perfect spot, then he had the quote today talking about how he's like, I played this defense all year last year in practice, and he pretty much knew what it was gonna be or something like that. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. He's just playing he's playing within this offense really well, and I think that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
One of the things
he had the nice third down, or he had that nice run, which at the end of the half, where there wasn't anything downfield, so he ran as far as he could, slid, called the timeout, or KOC called the timeout, kicked the field goal. Those are the things you want to see him do. He's not just playing within the offense; he's taking chances when he needs to, and that run was a perfect example of that, where you really wanted to get points and potentially double dip going into the second half, and he did just that.
Now, when we last year when we lost Justin Jefferson, right, and we go on a 3-game run, we were talking about our QB last year was talking about, hey, we go out there, I have complete faith in these guys. I play. Sam Darnold, same thing. He was asked, you have this guy out, this guy out, this guy out. And he goes, it didn't matter to me. I have, next player, I have faith in the offense. And I just throw it to the guy that's going to be, basically I'm going to throw it to the guy that's open. And the offense is the same. It's the offense that's going to make us successful. And it looks like that, guys. It looks like anybody could step up on this team. I just feel like that.
Yeah. It feels like we could, I don't know. It feels like there's not a team we couldn't stop from a defensive standpoint.
We already just played probably one of the most, it didn't seem like they got 399 on us, right?
No, not at all. Yeah. Which a lot of that, they got all the little underthrows and Debo and things like that. Ayuk, did Ayuk even, he got 2 catches or something? We had him in check. They got a lot of weapons, even without Christian McCaffrey. And that Kyle Shanahan offense is one of the most unique and just unique offenses out there and one of the best offensive play callers out there. And man, like Flores is just wiping these guys just off fucking planet Earth with in these chess matches, and he's winning all of them every single time. And that's a big one though. It's crazy how Brian Flores just gets everything possible out of these players and gets getting a Blake Cashman and Van Ginkel, and they come here and they have probably arguably two of their best games of their career already in the first 2 weeks is freaking, it's just insane. It's Brian Flores, man. We need him to stick around. Like if he, like, I feel really good about the talent on this defense, but I still think Brian Flores makes it significantly better than it probably even is.
Yeah, there was and what's crazy is that Darnold, Van Ginkel, Cashman, and Grenard. Did I say Grenard twice? What did I say? Van Ginkel, Cashman, Grenard, and Sam Darnold. It's because someone was posting about how we wouldn't afford these if we didn't let Kirk go, right? So we had a $42 million cap hit with losing Daniil and Kirk, but so that's crazy, right? And and these 4 players, their cap hit this year is $17 million.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
absolutely insane.
Crazy.
So
come on,
get off Kwesi's back.
I don't get it either.
Get
Just
off
one
his
draft.
back.
One draft where Naylor and Ty Chandler are starting to look good. There's still jury's out a little bit. We need to see a little bit more of them to be like, okay, they like turned around that draft. And it's no matter what, if you miss on their first 3 picks, that's kind of tough to come back from completely. But it was his first draft of his career.
Ingram, Ty Chandler, and Jalen Naylor. How about those 3 picks?
Yeah, which
Pretty
Ed Ingram,
freaking good.
Ed Ingram, I mean, I'm jury's definitely.
And Big Raylan, I would say, was his conservative play calling with the lead. I think this year he's showing us he's going to be a lot more aggressive, and he's already done it. Which I think all goes back to trust in what you have on your team, right?
Well, the other thing, I'll argue this, right? I don't think it's Kevin O'Connell. I don't think it was Kevin O'Connell. I don't think he's the conservative play caller. I think it's a conservative quarterback. And I was saying that the whole time. That was my biggest thing on Kirk Cousins. So pay attention. This season, if you're not seeing that out of Kevin O'Connell, who was it? Well,
it was because there were still people giving him shit. Oh, hey, Gary, $9.99.
Oh, my bad. It. Let's go, my guy, Gary. I appreciate my schoolmates.
But there was people there was some fans giving him shit last year when he couldn't get it done with Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins. Like, oh, what's he doing calling these stupid plays and this and that? And he's being too conservative. You were one of them. You said he was being a pussy in the Monday night game where he was running the ball and
don't remind him of that because he was on a roll.
It basically all came back to him not having trust
in the quarterback. That is different.
And now
dude, we're running the ball more. We're running the ball more than we ever did.
He had full trust in Sam Darnold. He has full trust in Sam Darnold to run the offense and make these plays, as we've seen. Because if you don't have a quarterback you don't trust, like Dave said earlier, you don't run play action.
I put my money on that all day. We were like that ever since.
You don't run play action on your own goal line if you don't trust your offensive line.
Well, that too,
right? Yeah. You don't do that.
No.
Our offensive line is playing awesome. It gave Sam Darnold all day to step up and throw that ball. So you don't call that play your own goal line unless you have faith in your offensive line. And we got it this year. We're running the ball more than we ever did. You're talking about you don't trust, last year we threw the ball a hell lot more than we've been throwing it this year. You're saying we didn't trust the quarterback last year. He had like 750 yards and 6 touchdowns after 2 weeks. We got 450 and 4 touchdowns after 2 weeks. So from the quarterback position. So it's not that. It's definitely the fact that our offensive line is playing awesome, giving Sam all day to throw. He's tall in the pocket, got a great arm. He's able to play freely, and he's got a coach throwing at the ball. Just Sam's good, but you don't have to do it at the expense of the other guy, right? Sam's playing good. Our offense is playing good. Our offensive line's better than it has been. Definitely, you just look at it and see the holes and the offensive running plays that we're running are just so much better, and especially with the running backs. Ty Chandler looks better now than he did last year. He's popping it outside. He's just not a straight-on runner. He looks great, and I think that has a lot to do with Aaron Jones coming in and being part of this group. And we just got the right players now. Got the right players.
Right.
Yeah.
So and that's the thing. It's finally the team that Kevin O'Connell wants to an extent. I mean, because
the offense is the same exact. It's the same players other than Aaron Jones compared to last year.
Right, but I mean, Blake Brandel's in there too. So it's the team that they wanted, not the team that they were given. Because last year there were some guys that they had on the team that the last couple of years, are guys that they had on the team they're trying to make work. Now he has a quarterback that before we drafted someone, he handpicked this guy. He wasn't already on the team. He handpicked this guy. Like, we could get this if we get this guy on our team. If we don't get the rookie we want, we think we can do what we need to do with Sam Darnold. So he's
keep in mind.
Finally, the team that Kwesi, Kevin O'Connell, even Brian Flores all finally wanted, because this was the first offseason where they could make huge decisions and put players that they liked into certain positions now that all these contracts were running their course, and they could just let them walk and just be done with it and kind of start over at certain positions. So we're finally seeing the team that they all wanted.
Yeah, just keep in mind, Kevin O'Connell's also the guy that started Madison all year, right? So it's like, come on. So it's nice to see a running game again. It's awesome. He's making great decisions. We weren't fans of Ed Ingram last year, and this year he's starting to grow on me a little bit. Because I was wanting Brandel to start on at right guard last year at the beginning of the season.
I'm not on that Ed Ingram yet.
I'm going to say Reisner's starting by halfway through the year.
Right? I mean, Ed Ingram is still like a really low graded player. I would argue and say that the offensive line has been pretty good, but what's that?
I had Tyler Fornes on. He ranked out at 33rd. I think you could probably look it up. You got it right. 33rd top guard in the league.
For Ed Ingram?
Average or better guard.
I mean, on PFF is definitely not like that.
But actually, there's 64 guards that start in the league.
But what about
I can look it up.
But the thing we're seeing too much.
You might have lied to me. I don't know.
But the thing we're seeing too much though is where he's getting in the way of Sam Darnold when Sam Darnold's trying to scramble in the pocket, which leads to another sack. Like, he's had
he has a 50 overall grade with a 25.3 pass blocking grade. Ed Ingram this year. And Garrett Bradbury, which it's hard going to the game, being honest, going to the game, it's definitely a lot more difficult to like really be paying attention to how everybody's playing from up there. So I didn't really get to see the game, but a lot of people were, and this is PFF, so you can't believe, I mean, it's not perfect, but Garrett Bradbury, people were saying stuff about him, and he was the highest graded player on our offensive line. Garrett Bradbury might be playing a little bit better than what people think. But if there's a spot, I mean, there's still times on the offensive line, like when people do get in, for the most part, it's pretty good. But when they do get in, it's usually going to be from that left guard center spot, especially in week one, you're against Dexter Lawrence, who's like one of the best in the league or whatever.
Hey, Barber, $4.99. Thank you, sir.
Let's go. Skol for life. Barber, my guy. We will beat the Texans 30-17. Vikings, can I get a Skol? Skol, baby. Skol, let's go. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, Ed Ingram, I'm still jury's out on him. Hopefully, we can keep seeing him progress. Like you said, I don't
think Reisner played all that great last year. I thought he was average.
I would say average is probably good, but Ed Ingram was below average. Blake Brandel has been above average so far. He definitely had a really, really good first game. But again, I didn't really it was hard to like really pay attention. Had to go back and watch highlights because you miss so much when you're actually at an actual game sometimes. But I don't know. I think that's another thing is just like same with players. It's the same thing with coaching too. I mean, this is Kevin O'Connell's third year as a head coach. And that's a hard part in any sports, in any fandom. Like, people have a hard time giving someone time to get better. Like you could say the same thing about Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi, but Kwesi for sure with having a first bad draft. And then, his second draft maybe wasn't amazing, but he still got some good players in like Jordan Addison. And I mean, I like Mekhi Blackman. We didn't have tons of picks. And then last year, what he did with Dallas Turner and JJ McCarthy, a lot of us are feeling good about the direction that's headed in. And then the undrafted free agent thing has been amazing, especially the last 2 years. But that's the thing is like some of these guys are new at their jobs and there is a chance that they're going to get better. And
right, but the NFL, they don't allow for that often, right? Because as
Yeah,
As
it's like
Cousins
the
said
3-year
himself.
thing. That's why the
Yeah,
3-year thing. You wait 3 years, and if you're not
Right.
seeing progress, then cut it or whatever. But
Right, which I could say. I mean, I think you're, and that's why I think Darren Wolfson said. I mean, he said it on. He said it multiple times.
Skull
Like he
Club.
says, he basically said a Kevin O'Connell extension is coming by the time the season ends. Like they want him here. And
Yeah, there's no question.
we're
That
starting
dude's
to see the progression. We're starting to see the progression of what he can do with all these different quarterbacks and stuff. And
He
even
was
though people
more
gave him
prepared
so
going
much,
into this season. This team is more prepared going into this
Yeah.
season than I have seen.
for
Yeah.
sure. And even like,
And we won
people that gave
13
him crap-
games his first year, which is
right?
crazy.
And the people that kind of gave him crap for the Josh Dobbs thing last year, like, well, you guys all said he was a quarterback guru with Josh Dobbs. Like, this is a totally different situation, right?
Yeah.
With Dobbs, it was you got a guy in here and he started 4 days later, and you're expecting to grow your offense around him week by week. Not how it works in the NFL. This year, you had Sam Darnold here all offseason to be ingrained into your offense. So this is a totally different situation. I think what he was able to get out of Dobbs for as long as he was able to get hit out of Dobbs was super, super impressive with the way that scenario played out. But this one, with what he's doing with Darnold, if he can keep it rolling, because obviously it's only 2 weeks, but if he can keep this going with Sam Darnold, like the legend of Kevin O'Connell will start after this season of what he can do with quarterbacks. Which
I think it helps.
I saw Sarah mention it earlier. Like when it comes down to does Sam Darnold get an extension? Does he not? I think when you look at it, like the thought process has to be like if Kevin O'Connell could get Sam Darnold, a 7-year vet who has had a shaky career, to perform like this, what could he do with the blank canvas 22 or 21, 22-year-old JJ McCarthy, who we haven't seen what he can be in the NFL yet? Like that's going to be the mindset you have to have. That you got to like kind of put how Darnold played off to the side and be like, here's what he did with this guy. What can he do with this young guy, unproven blank canvas to paint on? What could he do with that? So that's the situation it's going to end up being, I think.
I'm obviously going to be fine either way. But it's just like he'll still be here. You know what I'm saying? He'll still be here. It'll be another year. I don't know how many people after he got injured said, what a opportunity to sit in a meeting room with Kevin O'Connell and watch tape with him for an entire year. Okay, so is it okay the second year too? It's like, no, I mean, I'm okay either way. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk about it. I just think also Kevin O'Connell had an attachment to Sam Darnold, because I don't know how many puke emojis I saw when that was brought out that we might look into Sam Darnold, like puke emoji.
You were one of them, weren't you, Dave?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, I was
because
like, I didn't
want to bring in a bridge quarterback when we already had one, because I wanted, if we're going to go to the rookie quarterback, let's go to him. We already had a bridge quarterback. Why muddy the waters even more?
Which
obviously, and did I or did I not say on every single video that we've done together that Sam Darnold has all the physical tools in the
right?
It just, he hasn't shown it at his other stints. Right. I mean, 6.5. He's like what, 7.8 yards per attempt now, and that's a whole yard over his entire career. Is it sustainable? I think so. As long as, again, he's got time in the pocket and he's clean. Right. What was he? 14 for 15 in a clean pocket his first game.
Yeah.
Give him a clean pocket. He's going to be good.
Right. Yeah. And I think the decision to get Darnold over sticking with Nick Mullins, and I said this all season, I think there was some pressure on O'Connell to win this year with how last year went. Like, I think there was pressure on him to prove that like you need to start winning some games to make sure your job is safe here. So I think instead of going with, since this was pre-draft, instead of going with a guy like Nick Mullins, like I've seen what Nick Mullins can do, I just don't think that's it. Like, I think he had the pressure to win. He thinks I can win with Sam Darnold because there's some untapped potential there. So I think that decision because again, we didn't know that we were going to be able to draft a quarterback at this time, because you never know, you're pick 11. So like you have to plan for plan B in case plan A doesn't work out. And I do think, as we talked about what was plan A, what was plan B, I do think his idea was I need to win some games this year. I can't have another bad season, because I do want to make my job, safe and sound when we do get our rookie quarterbacks. That's what I think this team can do with one. So I do think that the added pressure to win is what led to them to go with Darnold over sticking with Nick Mullins, because he knew what he had with Nick Mullins, because he saw it.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Mullins doesn't have the arm that he probably wants to run the plays that he wants. And Sam Darnold does. So I give him a hell of a lot of credit for taking a chance on Sam Darnold, and it seems to be working out, which is great.
Yeah. And hopefully, obviously, I think it will, like you said, Dave. Like, I can't, unless we get a huge, like, Darrisaw gets hurt or something. And honestly, Quisenberry has been played really good throughout preseason and everything. I think he was like the highest graded offensive player during our preseason. So if that does happen, hopefully he can hold his own a little bit. But as long as he just, I mean, any quarterback, that's the big difference. Like, even we're talking about Bryce Young, even though I'm kind of dangerous for me even to bring that up again. But even like Bryce Young, like playing on a team that can keep you upright and you have weapons around you is so significant for any quarterback. And there's probably so many quarterbacks that you put them on this team who were busts and are out of the league that could have came here, didn't have a lot of pressure, and ends up turning their career around. It is crazy and something that I don't really think about enough when it comes to quarterbacks or whatever is situation. And I know a lot of like really pros when it comes to like football and a lot of old quarterbacks. It definitely comes from a lot of like past quarterbacks. I think what's the dude that does all the not the 22, but like he just did the Sam Darnold tape or whatever, and he like the quarterback school. Is that what it is?
QB school, yeah.
QB school.
I forget his name.
But even him,
yeah,
like a lot of quarterbacks like them, they're like, they just always talk about like how important it is to be in the right system. And obviously they were a quarterback and it doesn't always work that way, but it is pretty significant. So that's like just that's why I just feel like even back to the JJ McCarthy, Sam Darnold thing. If Sam Darnold plays really well, JJ, I mean, you got such talented player. You have an offensive line that are here for the next, other than maybe Garrett Bradbury or whatever, which isn't really saying a lot. For the next, I mean, what Brian O'Neill still probably has 3 years on his contract, something like that. So you have them long term, and then you have Kevin O'Connell, who's I mean, what happened with Dobbs? Like for the fact for Dobbs to come in and do what he did was still impressive, even if it did end up feeling like Dobbs just didn't fit into what Kevin O'Connell wants to do as a play caller and on offense. For his skill set, but to see what he's done with Sam Darnold and put him in this offense, you just got to feel like JJ McCarthy could do the same exact thing. And I think JJ McCarthy will end up being better than what Sam Darnold is in this offense. And it sounded like there was a chance that JJ McCarthy even could have started in week 1 or whatever. At this point, though, I would say that if Sam Darnold would have started the season this way and JJ McCarthy never got injured and I do think you might have not seen JJ McCarthy start this season at any point if Sam Darnold continues playing like this. One more thing before I let you guys continue talking. This card's up double now. I'm doubling my money on this, so let's keep getting those wins.
Every week is a gamble.
Let's keep getting those W's. Super Bowl.
It's double.
Super Bowl.
What an investment. What an investment.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of. I mean, yeah, I mean, McCarthy's the plan. Like McCarthy is the plan here, and again, it sucks that I think it sucks that McCarthy didn't get the again. When you're second string quarterback, you don't get a ton of practice reps anyway. But I mean that's the one negative thing. I guess he's going to be able to watch all the films, he's going to have the meetings with Kevin O'Connell, but he's not going to get the practice on field reps. Getting to throw the football, any of that stuff till he's healthy again. So
McCarthy is the only one under contract for next year.
What's up?
Ooh.
McCarthy is the only one under contract for next year.
Sorry, I missed that. For what?
Quarterback.
On our team. On our team. I got
JJ McCarthy is the only quarterback under contract.
No, Jamie, the only quarterback in the entire NFL who has a contract next year.
I was confused. My bad.
By the way, Twins are about to blow at the bottom of the 10th. So,
that's I mean,
awesome.
Keep it
Thanks
that way.
For that news.
I mean, at this point, you could bring Mullins back again if you want to. The whole Jaron Hall thing is still weird because Jaron Hall would have been on here and it would have
been fine. I would have been, that's our backup.
I would have liked that whole idea. So I don't really know what we will do there, obviously, but I do think ultimately, I don't think Sam Darnold. I think you don't sign him regardless. I think it'd be for Sam Darnold's case, like even if he's a team.
I guess
player,
you don't think we're winning the Super Bowl. I thought that was
even
if
I would. I said Super Bowl ? If we win the Super Bowl, see, that's the hard part. Is like if we win the Super Bowl, and unless you've played like lights out, but if he plays just like If he just
how,
plays,
how can you not sign a Super Bowl winning?
Hey, fucking Baltimore did it.
Because,
they
dude,
didn't bring their Super Bowl quarterback
yeah,
back.
I think you
that's a different
definitely.
situation, though.
Yeah, Brad Johnson. Like, there's a lot of situations where your quarterback didn't. It wasn't like your quarterback did all the work or
No,
whatever.
it was Trent Dilfer.
So I would say
Everybody knew Dilfer was the one holding that.
if we
team
win
back.
the Super Bowl, come McCarthy, because that's another thing is like if
I don't think they made the playoffs the next year.
Who's
I mean,
that?
I'm just saying. If you get a Super Bowl,
I don't think it's that easy. Not quarterback. No, I wouldn't say that. If he plays lights out and it's MVP season and he just wins the Super Bowl because of a majority of his arm, then that's a different conversation. But just winning one, because we have one. So at the same time, I get it. Like generally we would say if you win a Super Bowl, I don't care what happens next. But at the same time, if you win a Super Bowl, then it's kind of like, well, we might as well give JJ McCarthy a try, have all this extra money to make our team even better. That like the idea of a dynasty comes from keeping JJ McCarthy on a rookie contract, just like Mahomes.
Keeping him on a rookie contract his whole career.
Well, you know what I'm saying, the next 4 years or whatever.
I mean, but we also seen it before where a quarterback does light it up in the postseason, like Joe Flacco. And after that Super Bowl, Joe Flacco was never the same quarterback. So it goes both ways, right? Like that's
the same with Sam Darnold.
I mean, the Eagles honored Nick Foles.
Sign him because they won a Super Bowl, or a guy who plays MVP.
Yeah, Nick Foles
and wins the Super Bowl and gets re-signed and just doesn't have it.
It's just you can be a quarterback that just plays really well. You got a great team around you, great coaches. It's definitely a possibility.
Nick Foles did it for 4 weeks.
The whole season. I don't care unless Sam Darnold goes absolutely ballistic and wins us a Super Bowl. It's going to be hard to change my mind on the fact that I think
4,500 yards, 40 TDs.
System. If it's ridiculous, I don't know. It would be tough. We got to get closer. We got to get past 2 weeks. But right now, today, I'd have to.
We're going to revisit this every week. Every other week, I guess. Jamie's temperature on whether or not he'll bring Sam Darnold back.
Yeah.
The way they still try to, they still tried to re-sign Kirk. I mean, I don't think they want to go into a season with only one quarterback. Someone's going to get signed. And they may just say, hey, we could just tag Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing. I just think you can't do Sam Darnold dirty like that. Like he could go out and get a 5-year extension somewhere else and get paid. I don't like if he's playing insane.
What's Baker Mayfield making right now?
What was his contract? What was Baker Mayfield?
It's relatively low if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, let's look at it. I think it's around like 40 million, I bet. 3 years, 100 million. What is that?
Oh, it's like 33.
33. So maybe not 40. Obviously, I was kind of. So I mean, at least 30.
I think he could tag him and then work out something, and then work with the.
But still,
I just think these guys like to hang on to people.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it from their perspective, but at the same time, if they feel good enough about JJ McCarthy, and it's kind of like, I think we also do good to our players. I think, and if we're in a situation where it's like we don't even plan for sure for you to be our starter, and you can go and make money somewhere else, like you can make a long-term contract somewhere else. I just feel like a lot of coaches end up making that decision, other than the Commanders.
And you also got to think about maybe he thinks, okay, if I ball out again this year, I like it in Minnesota. Right. I love Kevin O'Connell.
It's definitely possible. Yeah, that's definitely
I'm cool with anything you guys freaking do to me.
Yeah.
I remember Chad Greenway. You mean you're going to pay me $11 million to play football? Shit, yeah. It's and they tagged him his first time.
Anything's possible. But right now, I'm like 100% JJ McCarthy. So I got to see more. I was impressed with. There's no question. We're all impressed with what Sam Darnold's done so far. He hasn't done like any levels where I'm like, oh, he's a, top.
Yeah,
10.
I mean, I'm not
top 10 quarterbacks. You're like, I feel like he's a top 10 quarterback now. If you're gonna extend him, type of thing, right? But hey, if it does happen though, let's go. Hopefully. But yeah, Sam Darnold to Denver.
I mean, I'm
can
not
see
saying
that. Darnold to
he's
Denver.
not the second coming yet of Joe Montana, but
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
it's pretty good. I put him up there with way Purdy playing. Purdy played these last couple years. I wouldn't say he's any worse than him the way he's played.
And the thing that's most impressive about Sam Darnold so far is one, or well, not well, just him being drafted as a number 3 or a top 3 court or number 3rd overall pick, and having all the physical tools to be that guy. But the big thing is, like, even I went back before the season started after JJ McCarthy's injury, because I'm like, finally, like, all right, I better go like look at why Sam Darnold was good in college and stuff.
I wasn't impressed.
I wasn't impressed, and a lot of it was
wasn't impressed at all,
either.
man.
And it was because of his he looked kind of uncomfortable in his happy feet thing. The same thing I say about Drake May, the same thing I said about Levis, all of Casey's guys. But it was just like there's this happy feet.
Well,
thing,
Drake May has. You can't say Drake May's not proven yet because he hasn't played.
No, I'm just saying as far as I'm not saying Drake May is a bust, but as far as like looking at his tape, I was like kind of uncomfortable because he's like hopping around and stuff. And I saw that in Sam Darnold's tape. But this year, and that's been his whole thing in everybody's talked about to his career up to this point. And that's one thing we've seen in these first 2 weeks is he's been pretty, like, I guess, stable. Like, he's not hopping around.
His offensive line's got him comfortable, man.
Right.
He's comfortable right now.
He's comfortable. And that's been the big difference. And that's the main reason why I feel like personally, why he can keep this up for this entire season. As long as, we keep him protected. Somebody's going to throw him balls, boy. Yeah, I know. That's so funny. I forgot about that. That Weiner was talking about how Darnold knows how to throw him the ball. Yeah, that's funny. Dude, man, that's still crazy. That's so crazy. The whole 49ers thing, everybody picking against us. This week,
Except for Daniel Jeremiah.
Except for Daniel Jeremiah.
Yep. And Daniel Jeremiah. I like him.
I had there's a line on Bleacher Report. There's actually I did a draft. I did the draft. I had to sit there for the second and third round of the draft forever. And one of the biggest Lions YouTube guys, his name's Dose, who's also, dude, they do have some really cool. Dose is like a super nice dude. We've had Micro Mike on here. He's an awesome guy. They do have some really cool content creators, but they do a show on Bleacher Report now where they have like 4 guys in there and they pick who's going to win every single week. And he's just a Lions fan, probably the Lions guy for the Bleacher Report. And out of all of those guys on there were like, all right, let's just get through this one quick. 49ers. And then he went on a whole spiel about picking the Vikings. I thought that was pretty cool to see out of him.
A Lions
fan. Yeah, he's the one Lions fan, and everyone else had nothing to do with the NFC North. I think they were all different. It was like the Jets fan, Miami fan, and I don't know where the other guy was. But yeah, and he was the one, like, they were just trying to go by this one quick, and then he's the one that kind of stepped up. And obviously, I mean, he had some good takes on it all too. And ultimately, which a lot of it was like how we handled Darisaw Nick Bosa last year, and Darisaw kind of dominated him. This year, Nick Bosa got 1 sack ultimately on Sam Darnold. But other than that, he was held in check the whole time.
And we've held big rushers, every year it seemed. When we played the Chargers and played San Fran, we've held guys except for the Cowboys. Jesus.
Yeah,
haunts me that game.
I know, we can't have one of those games this season.
Well, we were injured. Darisaw wasn't playing and stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, everybody, we're about to give away this card. So get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, subscribe. Ivan Pace Jr. rookie card. Get all that in.
What was his PFF grade? 29?
Not good. He was getting picked on in mostly coverage, and he was getting picked on in coverage quite a bit in that game. So hopefully we can see. The one thing with Ivan Pace is you're just not really I don't know why we're not putting him in more spots to try to in like blitzing situations, but we'll see if we see more of those going forward.
I kind of felt like he would take a little second fiddle when we got the outside linebackers that we got, and I thought he was one player I thought was kind of going to lose some time. We lost they get the green dot to Cashman, and but he's still definitely a good player, right? So it's like we feel deeper at linebacker than we ever did before.
Dude, it's insane. It's insane. I
Hey,
mean,
what
Van
do you think?
Ginkel.
What do you think of Kendricks for the first game of the year getting like 9 tackles, 2 sacks, and a
Oh, I
pick?
didn't. He did. I didn't even hear about that. Did you guys?
Yeah, I posted about it.
Oh, dang! I love it.
How about
I love
Zimmer's defense giving up 40 to the Saints?
Mm-hmm.
I never have a bad defense, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But it was better the week before. Are the Saints the real deal or what? Kamara probably haunts him in his dreams.
Yeah, I think. I mean, there's no reason why you should say they're not, but I still need to see one more because they were like projected to be like the 28th worst team or something like that, and they've been dominating so far. But it just I mean, they don't really seem like that different than they were a year ago.
Because they're really not.
No,
well,
so
they have Clint Kubiak at offensive coordinator now, which I guess
could be make a difference.
What I've seen, yeah, I think they Saints fans were not a fan of the guy they had the last couple of years there.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, another little fun storyline is Mike Zimmer's last offensive coordinator probably couldn't stand him, was the one that destroyed his defense last week. So that's another fun little storyline.
Jesus, Zimmer, man. You got all sorts of karma coming your way after that article.
Yeah. That was crazy. And everybody
just shut up. Just live your life. Everybody still loves you.
Dude, that's crazy. Like he was sitting on that for years and then let it all out at once.
Well, they said, I hold grudges. I'm not forgetting. Like,
yeah, he did that. I hold grudges. Like, dude, that's not really good.
It's not a good thing, man.
You're not supposed to hold grudges.
No one wanted to coach your offense for you, man.
Right. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. All right, I'm going to get this giveaway tool up. Obviously, we'll run my boy Two Evil's favorite game, the duck races. We got 9 entries in here. So we're feeling
my favorite tweet I did, but it didn't get any traction, was I put the score of the Atlanta game and I put the score of the Saints Dallas game, and I posted Zimmer was wrong.
Dude.
Yeah, that one didn't get any traction.
Oh, Zimmer.
Zimmer. All right, we're gonna get these going again, everybody. The hashtag Skulls in the comments. The 5 names we picked. We got 9 in here. Good odds. 5 names go into the duck race, and obviously, you guys know how all that works. Let me get.
We're gonna switch it up and have a different game.
Well, there's a game that Two Evil told me about, which I will try to do, but there's a lot of steps I have to do to make it work. Otherwise, there's other ones on here, but none of them, in my opinion, I think duck race is the best as far as like not knowing. You kind of get an idea who might win, but there's some where it's like the football one where the guy's like 20 yards down the field right away and then ends up winning or something. You don't really see them kind of passing each other and stuff. So I don't know. This one's like the most popular one when you in the card world. Good. Yeah, I want to get the marbles thing. I just have to, I know you sent me that video, so I have to dive in, and I know there's like all this, I have to get a third-party app and do all this stuff to make it happen. Eventually, I'm going to try it for sure. All right, let's get this going. Got 10, another entry. Boom. 5 make it to the next round for the duck race. I should do that. And the first one is, got to be here. Roger. I already seen Roger in there. I know he's in here. Right? I just saw him in here. Yep. My guy. Let's go. All right. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. And we got number 2. Boom. Big Railing. Big Railing. Yeah, my guy. Yo, he's in here. He's in here. All right. Big Railing, you've been in like these every time, I feel like, when you're in here. All right, let's keep it going. We got next, number 3. And it goes to boom. 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 Dylan. Dylan, I didn't even see you're in here. What up, Dylan? You got to be still in here, right? That was like a minute ago. All right, we'll keep it rolling. Dylan, let me know. Make sure you're in here, Dylan. But I
Yes.
believe you are. Okay. Oh, there you are. Let's go. All right. Keep it going. 3 for 3. 3 for 3. Everybody's been in here. That's what we got. Number 4 spot. And it goes to boom. Steve. Keep it going. Keep it going. I believe I saw Steve, right? He was in here recently. Oh, where's my cursor at?
Oh, geez. How about that injury report?
What? Not Vikings?
No, yeah, it's Jordan Addison, Brian O'Neill, Dallas Turner.
Oh,
Justin
yeah,
Jefferson,
I saw that. Bob
Evan
Sweet.
Sr., Van Ginkel.
All right, Bob Sweet, are you in
Ingram
here?
and Naylor.
I know it's been a minute for
Oh,
Sweet.
Ingram and Naylor were full practice, though.
Yeah, I know. I know it was not optimal.
But I think they said that O'Neal's elbow is something they've known about, so it's just a just kind of a precaution day. But then the other two were what? Addison, and who was the other one that didn't practice?
Turner,
which we kind of figured he might not.
Yeah, but we also
I might as well
on
just sit
Sunday.
him
So
in this game.
nothing too surprising.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with them sitting Turner.
Hey, Bob's in here.
Because, we got Pat Jones.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude,
Pat Jones
talk
is
about a
second.
resurgence, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. Flores, that's one thing that wasn't talked about in the offseason is just, and we talked about a little bit kind of towards the end, but just how all of these same players with their second year in a Flores, because you got to believe that Flores system is tough to learn, and having another year under it has got to be significant. And I think that's a big reason we're seeing just the way our defense has played this so far.
Well, and him getting more pieces that he wanted up
right,
front, which we needed desperately.
Right, and they killed that. Van Ginkel,
absolutely.
Oh my man,
Ginkel, Grenard, like they both already made huge dividends, more than we got out of Daniil Wanham. I feel like
it's crazy.
Daniil was out of position playing that stand-up outside linebacker.
All right, we got all the names. We're all set here. Let's shuffle this up a little bit.
A couple times.
2, 3.
Huh.
Keep going.
One more.
I think we do it.
Oh Jesus! What?
5 normal. We've never got 5.
Do we run 5 normal ducks?
I think we run 5 normal ducks.
Let's run 5 normal ducks.
All right, we're going 5 normal ducks. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's go. Two-Tone says one more duck. Sorry, Two-Toned. Next time. You have to remind me, though. 6 ducks next time. All right, we got Dylan in the early lead with Big Raylan hanging out right behind. Sweden third. Roger
number 1.
What's that? Who was
number 1?
Yeah. Last
just
week,
taking their time back there.
Oh, Dylan coming back. Big Raylan. I think everybody's coming back to get one final push at the same
Sweet's
time.
coming.
It's going to be Dylan's going to bounce right off the back.
I think Sweet's got it. Oh, he pulled ahead.
Dylan's coming back. Oh, wait, Steve. Steve wants it. Steve's getting it. Steve's getting it. Swede's like, no. But Steve says, yes.
He did. The Packers fan wins the race.
Steve winning. I'm screwed. Let's go. Steve.
Gotta give it to the Packers fan. Nice win.
Yeah. Steve, have I actually sent you something? Because usually you end up just giving it away. I wonder, because that's the thing is I don't think I have any No, I'm going to look for if I have any Packer cards at all. Give the card to Sarah. All right, Sarah. Sarah, are you still in here? I don't know if she's still in here, but I'll give it to her. She's always down to win. Steve, I am gonna
get a Lions fan in here. You just gotta ask Casey for some cards.
Yeah, he's got. Those are his personals. No, I'll see if I have. I'll have to look around too, and I'll let you know the next time if I have any Packer cards. But I don't think I do, though.
How about Aaron Jones saying he's going to do the U.S. Bank vault?
Oh, dude, that's what's up. Talk about like sticking it to the Packers. You gotta love that. That's what they get. That's what they get for always disrespecting players and stuff like that. They come to the Vikings and then they create their own Lambeau leap here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Second place again. All right, guys. Anything else? I guess on our side, we will be going live for a pregame show on Friday because we didn't have time to do a pregame video. So everybody in here, we're gonna do it tomorrow, but we're pushing it to Friday at early, really early. We're probably gonna go on 4:30 Central Friday. I'll try to set it up tomorrow, just keep everybody knowing. But hey, we're grinding here. We're going 3 streams in a row, pretty much.
Absolutely. But thanks everybody
Across
for
the streams.
What's up? Crossing streams.
Across the streams.
Across the streams.
So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We appreciate the donations, super chats tonight. We really do appreciate that. It helps us out a lot here. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. As Jamie said, look out for us coming on Friday with pregame. Dave, you got anything else planned for the week?
I go live on Sundays during the game, man.
Definitely
Sounds
go
good.
hit up.
Hopefully we're all looking at a 3-0 operation come next Sunday, Monday. So be a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the game on Sunday. We'll see you guys on Friday, and we'll see you guys next time right here on the Skol Experience.
Skol Vikes.